Respecting pauses.
Silence makes people uncomfortable. Yet, one of the most important empathic listening skills is not interrupting pauses or periods of silence. When a person pauses, she continues to think about the challenge. When we respect these pauses, by not interrupting, we are in essence offering the person a psychological chair to sit on. It is a way of saying,
"We are not going to abandon you."
The person who feels truly heard begins, also, to speak slower and leave more pauses. When an individual senses he will not be interrupted, he begins an internal trajectory, every time deeper, wherein he begins to intensify the process of self-understanding and analytical thinking. Many listeners who found it difficult enough to be patient when the individual was speaking at a normal speed find it torturous to listen to this slower pace. Yet this is part of the gift of giving in a listening or helping stance. Are you the type of person who helps others finish their sentences? Or find words that they seem to be missing? How long can you listen to a person keep silence without getting nervous or impatient or interrupting? 4 seconds? 11 seconds? 1 minute? 10 minutes? How long? When a party comes out of this pause, he will have often undergone some serious reflective and analytical thinking. Let us listen to a sample conversation with some pauses. This particular sample represents less than 4 minutes in what was an hour conversation. I gave serious consideration to cutting down this piece to less than 1 minute. However, I believe that listening to this complete clip, despite the pain that you might feel, is very, very instructive. The listener does an excellent job in terms of his empathic reflections and comments. You will also notice that the person with the problem begins to wind up several times, as if he is going to start speaking, and then he does not, but goes back into his brain, where he continues the conversation with himself, finally to surface, at the end, with some ideas on how to proceed. And by the way, the longest pause is no more than 14 seconds.
And if I don't have him lined up on that, then the production just goes down from there.
Just false production.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got good character. He's very. I haven't really seen where his feelings would get hurt that hard.
Uh-huh.
And maybe by at one point I've said that maybe that by giving him my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And him expressing it back to me, and maybe I would get a better understanding on how it is, and I know that some other people have mentioned to me that they see a little downfall on him too, but then he'll just kick right back up and just do fantastic again.
Okay.
Sometimes it kind of makes you wonder if I am throwing out am I doing a thorough enough job of giving him instructions to what do? And sometimes that gets in the back of the question in my mind.
Right.
Did I tell him the right things to do? You know, and sometimes myself, you know, I get in a rush to try to start different jobs, and maybe sometimes I don't sit there and say, well, tell me what I told you to do, thinking he's going, yeah, okay, yeah,
right.
okay. So that might be something that I might have to work on myself, is just to take the time and make sure that one more 2 or 3 minutes of making sure that he does understand, that maybe that I would feel more comfortable that I can actually drive away or go off to another section of the field and not worry about him
Right.
getting the job completed right.
Completed.
So maybe I keep going back to talking with him, and this seems to be going into my mind a lot more now, and maybe that is a very good solution to see if that will solve a lot of the problem with him, and work with him a little bit harder to see if he would snap out of it.
A young professional reported that she had put this advice to work. After the first day of a seminar on empathic listening skills, she called her fiancé, who was experiencing some serious challenges.
I had to bite my lips several times, but I managed not to interrupt him. After a long pause, he asked me, "Are you there?"
The disadvantage of the phone is that fewer empathic responses are available to the listener, as he could not see the interest with which she had been listening.
"Of course I am. I'm just listening with much interest,"
she responded. Once these words were pronounced, he continued talking, this time with even more enthusiasm and penetration. Before concluding this subsection, I would like to share 2 more clips from our African American friend Mekele. The first one speaks of her desire to make a decision and resolve her challenge. This comment comes after she has had a long time to vent.
That's just where I am right now. I probably will call him sometime next week. I always plan stuff like that. I don't want to talk to him right now, you know.
Get in the right frame.
Right. Should probably call him on a day when I'm mad. But so, you know, it's starting to weigh on me, and that's when I know I probably need to go ahead and call him now, because
in the second clip, Mekele speaks about the feelings of gratitude she is feeling for having been heard.
One of the interesting things is in general, I don't verbalize how I feel. I always keep my stuff on the inside and let other people tell me how they feel. So, this whole process of finding out that I'm actually still angry at him, because I didn't know I was still angry at him, is pretty interesting to me anyway. And it makes me feel like, okay, you know, why exactly are you angry? You know, should you be angry? You know, should you be disappointed? I don't think you really need to be angry.
A person who uses the empathic listening approach in its purity will have to dedicate large blocks of time to it. Depending on the trauma or situation involved, I have found that people can easily talk to you for 2 hours or much longer if you will listen. Before concluding this seminar, I would like to share a few thoughts about reconciling empathic listening to our values.